Hey, Bruce Netter, your boomer consumer, and this episode is all about the Aiyima T8. This is a tube-based preamp with a DAC and headphone amp all in one compact, well-made unit. As a disclaimer, this was sent to me at no cost by Aiyima for a review. However, all opinions are my own, and no one has reviewed this video prior to posting. Who is this for? Well, again, this is a desktop design, or a device, I should say, designed for the desktop. Use it with your computers, your phones, your tablets, gaming consoles, television, a whole lot more. Tons of connectivity, including Bluetooth 5.0 that supports haptics. Now, in the box, you're going to get the Bluetooth antenna, the 6N3 tube, a user guide, an 8 GB thumb drive, the remote control, power supply, a USB cable, and of course the T8 itself. Again, this is selling for around $130 at the time of this recording. Now, just briefly covering the specs of the T8. First, again, you get the 6N3 tube. Comes with the Sabre 9018 K2M DAC chip. Supports 24-bit at 96 kilohertz via USB, or up to 24-bit 192 kilohertz through its other outputs. Comes with a 3.5 millimeter headphone jack, and that power is rated at 120 milliwatts at 32 ohms. Signal to noise ratio is 108 dB. And what I have researched is that the tube does affect the sound on all the outputs of the T8, not just the headphone amp. So taking a tour of the front, again, this is all metal construction on here, so it's very nicely made. A nice volume knob. This also functions as on and off. A long press will turn it off and on. And then a short press will change the outputs to Bluetooth, optical, USB, coaxial connections. And then, of course, you have the 3.5 millimeter headphone jack down below. On the side, you can see the tube, and then you have these two kind of wooden dowel rods protecting you from the heat of the tube. Pretty nice. Actually, I think it's quite good looking. Now, going over the rear of the T8, I have the Bluetooth antenna connected. You have a left and right input on there, so you connect maybe a CD player or something like that, MP3 player, to the T8. And then you have RCA out. You have a coaxial connection input, optical input, USB input, and then you have the power supply. So this has a lot of connectivity given the relatively low price of the T8. Let's do a quick tour of the remote control with this. So starting at the top, you have your power off and on button, mute. You can change sources, adjust the bass up, adjust the bass down, treble up, treble down. Button doesn't do anything. Volume up, volume down, and then you can turn the display off and back on if that's what you want to do. And that is the Aiyima T8 remote control. Now I'm going to give you my overall thoughts and impressions of the T8. First off, I love the compact design. I like the fact that it's tall rather than wide. It can kind of put it into some more compact places, especially if you're using it on a desktop, right? We have a lot of stuff on our desktop. I did wish it came with a 6.35 millimeter headphone jack as opposed to the 3.5. If you only got a 6.35 millimeter connector on your headphones, you may have to get an adapter for that. I think the wood is a real nice touch on here as well. I like the display. It's pretty bright. It is small, but heck, a lot of devices in this price range don't even give you a display, so I think that's a nice touch. Like having the bass and treble controls, although you have to access it through the remote, so don't lose that. I like the USB cable that came with it. I think that's a pretty nice cable. The sound. All right, so I use this with my Hi-Fi Man HE1000s. I gotta say, I thought it sounded very good from the headphone jack. Maybe a little bit more warm on the treble side. Bass was good. Wasn't extremely powerful, but it was definitely very good. So I have no complaints about the sound quality. Does it give it that tubey sound? Maybe a little bit. In a article that I read said yes, that the tube does affect the sound on all the outputs. So We'll leave it at that. You can do tube rolling, so I like that. This overall sound quality is very, very good for the price. That being said, if you're just interested in having the DAC portion of it, you can probably do a little bit better than the T8. But with everything that you're getting for the money, when you talk about getting aptX, Bluetooth, all the various connectivity, the well-made construction of this device, I think you're getting a whole lot for, a pretty reasonable price. So that is my review of the Aiyima T8 tube-based preamp DAC headphone amp for, as today, $130. Bruce Naylor, your Boomer Consumer. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.